Darksiders is one of these game franchises that I missed entirely. I heard about it, I knew what kind of games it was, and I might have played a demo back in the days but never actually decided to get at it. That changes today. I got myself the first game and dove headfirst into a very complicated storyline. The game opens up with an animated cinematic, which sets the ground for the story. In short, heaven and hell wage an endless war, and the charred council is there to preserve order and balance. Whichever side would disobey the council's law would have to face their enforcers, the Four Horsemen. The Kingdom of Men appeared, and the council judged they would be integral to the balance at some point, but not now. Too weak. Give them time to get on heaven and hell's level. A truce was decided by the council to wait for the Kingdom of Men, bound by 7 seals, which are to be broken once, and only once, humanity would be ready for the end war. The battle that would bring balance and determine the ultimate fate of the 3 kingdoms. Opening screen into what looks like New York City. Meteors are hitting the earth, as it becomes a battlefield between angels and demons. And powerless humans can only hope to hide. This is where we come in, as War, one of the council's 4 horsemen. The tutorial shows us the basic moves as well as War's chaos form. At this point, I don't really know what my goal is. Angels are also attacking me, and we witness my health bar depleting as I go. I keep going, fighting whatever stands in my way, climbing buildings and helping scared citizens.
What are you doing on your roof? Sir, sir, please be careful. Try to keep calm. Not me.
I also tried throwing, but aim isn't really my strong point.
Good aim.
We cross path with Abaddon, one of Heaven's leaders. He is surprised to see us, claiming that the 7th seal wasn't broken. The charred council couldn't have called upon us. He gets snatched by a giant hand, and we're getting blamed. War just says he's answered the call. First boss fight, avoid getting hit. Throw 2 cars and hit the face. 3 times the charm. As we're about to execute the demon, another loud noise and War falls into the ground. It seems everyone is confused about what's going on, and as we get squished by the same hand as Abaddon, the council tries to clear up the situation. They yell at me for forgetting the law and fighting alongside Destroyer and his demon army. War isn't taking it. He was summoned. But what of the other 3 horsemen then? The council insists that the seals are intact, or help the Dark Ones and doom mankind. For what we didn't do, we're about to get punished. But War wants to defend his honor and asks to be sent back to punish the actual culprits. The council accepts, but assigns the Watcher to my side to ensure of my loyalty. We grab our blade, Chaos Eater, as well as our Souls Bag. They come in 3 different forms: Currency, Elf, and Wrath. And off we go. We're to look for Vulgrim, a demon who fell from the Destroyer's favor and with whom we buy help from. Back to Earth, the Watcher is being a pain and abuses of his control over us. We don't have much of a choice and we don't replicate. Let's just focus on fighting that Vulgrim. Instantly something bothers me. There is a pretty significant input lag for some reason.
Oh, I don't like the jumping. Oh, my boy is heavy and takes a while.
Which makes us feel really heavy, and even the easiest jumps can turn into irritating moments. I don't know if it has anything to do with the Xbox Series Edition, but it was a pain for the whole playthrough, even though you eventually get used to it and anticipate it. We make our way through some demons. I tried to deactivate camera shake, but unfortunately there are no options for it. War makes it outside to the crossroads, and we realize we've been gone for a century. Mankind has lost, and only ruin is left. Vulgrim was waiting for us. He points to the tower and says that this is where the Destroyer is. Unfortunately, not only we're not as strong as our former self, and facing the Destroyer head-on would be suicide, but also, we don't know the way to get there. Vulgrim wants 500 souls. Then he'll point us to someone who does know. We fight demons and collect souls around the crossroads. Vulgrim is satisfied and advises us to see Samael's prison. He's another demon who used to be close to the Destroyer, but they're not friends anymore. Vulgrim gives us the Earthcaller, a horn that can open ancient gates and can even be used to stun enemies in combat. We keep progressing, sighting some more demons on the way and leveling up Chaos Eater. On the way, we find a hidden lifestone shard. 3 more and we can upgrade War's health bar and reach the prison. The jailer warns us about freeing Samael, but we decide to ignore his advice and free the guy. Samael tells us that in order to get to the tower, we need to defeat 4 of his chosen and bring back their hearts to him. Our first destination will be the Twilight Cathedral, the Bat Queen Tiamat's domain. Samael gifts us wings to access the place, Shadow Flight. Before we go, we unlock a Vulgrim location, which are basically shops where you can trade souls for upgrades and items. These locations also are connected to each other and can be used for fast travel. We buy a weapon enhancement, and since I'm an idiot, I don't read the tooltip and don't equip it. We take the road towards the cathedral and make it to the choking grounds. We fight stronger enemies, collect some souls and a rat shard, then meet with another giant that we woke up with the horn. Giant can't move until the curse is broken, and in order to do so, he sends us to the realm of shadows, where 4 challenges await War. First, defeat 40 enemies in 30 minutes. Then, defeat 5 enemies using aerial combos in 3 minutes. Next, kill 30 enemies with instant finishers within 5 minutes, and finally, defeat 50 enemies as our health bar depletes because of poison. The giant is now free to move and rewards us with the Ravager, an enhancement that increases damage done with thrown stuff, and we keep going towards the cathedral. At the Broken Stair, we do some shopping at the new Vulgrim location, and as we keep going, a group of angels led by Uriel shows up, drawn by my presence. War knows there's nowhere to hide and decides to steal a winged griffin to reach the cathedral from the skies. Angels won't let me do so easily, so it's a rail shooter time. Lock onto multiple targets and release fire will do nicely. It's fun but not challenging and a tad long to be honest. We get many souls though. As we reach our destination, Tiamat herself eats our mount and we have to keep going on foot from here. We unlock another Vulgrim location and spend some of the souls we just collected before entering the cathedral. This is the first dungeon. We use crystal blades to unlock doors, fight hordes of demons, get lost in the underground, fight stronger demons, solve puzzles, and finally find the boomerang, or should I say, the crossblade. This new weapon can be thrown at enemies or switches, can conduct fire towards bombs, etc. It's pretty useless in fights though, as it does next to 0 damage compared to Chaos Eater. More stuff in this second part of the dungeon, now including crossblade puzzles. It's fun, and as much as I love puzzles, these are super classic if you ever played games before. Miniboss time. The jailer. Simple stuff. Throw the crossblade at his weak points and hit him when he's staggered. I love the design and the finisher on this one. We spent enough time in here, it's time to call it a day and confront Tiamat. She tries to strike a deal with War, as she doesn't understand why we are sent to assassinate her. War isn't up to negotiation though, and the fight begins. Phase 1, she flies. We have to pick up the sticky bombs and throw them at her. Then use the crossblade to light them on fire and cause an explosion, which will trigger Phase 2, where she lands, defenseless on the ground, before going back to Phase 1. This boss requires coordination to aim, switch weapon, shoot, and avoid getting hit, but it's fairly easy thanks to the training we got in the previous rooms of the cathedral. We rip off the steel beating heart from her chest and receive a maximum health increase for this win. Problem now, we can't leave the same way we arrived, but remember Vulgrim? He activates fast travel between his shops for a glimpse of the heart's power. We buy a new weapon, the Harvester. It's a sight that works wonder for multiple enemies and reaps more souls from kills. We teleport back to the Scalding Gallows, where Samael has been waiting for our return. Not losing any time, he takes the heart and directs us to the Griever, our second target. Unfortunately, its lair can't be reached without the help of Ulthane, one of the old ones. Samael also informs us that the Watcher is keeping War from his full potential and advises us to get rid of him. A very satisfying punch to the face later, we can now gather power and unleash the Chaos form for a temporary decimation. We travel towards the Drowned Pass. In here, another cursed giant blocks the way towards Ulthane, and again, we are sent to the Shadow Realm to face the 4 challenges. First challenge is killing 5 enemies using only block and projectile counterattacks within 5 minutes, which is much longer than necessary. Then defeat 30 with Chaos form in 5 minutes. Third is a bit different. We start with 6 soldier friends and we need to keep at least 1 alive throughout the time limit of 5 minutes. Finally, for the last challenge, we have 4 minutes to kill 15 enemies with cars. Once this is done, we are rewarded with an abyssal armor piece, find 10 to build it, and the way opens. We make it to Anvil's Ford and immediately find the hammer. Unfortunately, we're apparently not worthy and Ulthane appears and taunts us. Time to fight, I guess, and as the fun was just about to begin, we get interrupted by Uriel and her angel soldiers once again. She wants to fight and avenge Abaddon right here, right now, but this annoys Ulthane, who says, "Justice can't wait until we're done." We decide to compete with Ulthane on who could defeat most angels as we travel towards the subway and the Griever's lair. It's pretty even until I get my hands on one of the angel's hand cannon, which makes it much easier to decimate the enemy's ranks. Final score is 49 to 34, and Ulthane gives us the combat lore enhancement. Now it's time to battle Uriel. She might hit hard, but it's not a hard fight. She flies away in defeat, and Ulthane explains he's the one who sealed the passage towards the Griever, as he opens up the way, again, for us to get rid of that beast. Welcome to the Hollows, the game's second worst level. If you played this, you already know who is first. But anyway, the Griever appears immediately, but we don't manage to kill her yet. Just piss her off. So we decide to go after her and finish the job. This place sucks. It's ugly, confusing, and such a letdown of a dungeon after the cathedral. It has that mechanic where you need to turn valves and adjust the water level, swimming, flying bug enemies, pulling and pushing stuff, backtracking, the complete experience. We find the Tremor Gauntlet in the first part of the dungeon. It's useful in combat, but it's mainly used to get rid of the crystals that block the way. The Gauntlet can also push some platforms forward with a big punch. It makes for really frustrating puzzles. Some more fighting and fun puzzles later, we finally reach the boss. Again, this fight has two phases. First, we need to clear the crystals using the Gauntlet while avoiding the laser that not only deals damage but also turns the crystal unbreakable for a bit. Once the coast is clear, War can push the train towards the big bug and punch it through her chest. Don't push it too early to avoid missing, don't push it too late to avoid getting flung back. After a couple times, she will spawn ads and cause stones to fall from the roof. These are random and frustrating, as you can just get chain hit by these. Anyway, this boss fight blows, and I kept dying because the train got flung back to my face after punching it. After a few tries, we get our second heart and a health upgrade. Before going back to Samael, we go check on Ulthane, and he gives us Mercy. A gun for getting rid of the Griever. The gun looks cool, but it's honestly pretty harmless. At least for now. I do some shopping at Volgrim's and deliver the heart to our demon friend. Samael tells us that the reason Uriel wants us dead is because she loved Abaddon and thinks we're the one responsible for his death. He then directs us to the Ashlands, where we'll find the Stygian, king of the ancient worms. We will need to use the Chronospheres, a gift of the old ones to avoid getting eaten alive by the worms. And it's a sign that more complex puzzles are on the way. We're off then. The first Chronosphere we'll use will freeze a door open in time so we can cross and reach the dry road. Dark conjules ambush War, but we managed to get rid of them easily. We do some parkour and show off our gaming skills. We made it to the Ashlands, a desert where worms were. That's hard to say. A desert where worms roam free. Worms roam free. A desert where worms roam free. Anyway, so we have to avoid walking on the ashes without a chronosphere around to keep them as far as possible. We take on drilling towers full of demons as we look for an entrance towards the underground. After a while, we figure out a way down to an underground lake, take on some more puzzles requiring to freeze time and infiltrate the demon dwellings. This part is awesome. Lots of fighting, feels good after all these puzzles. Now, for the next step, we'll have to cross a patch of ash without the help of the chronospheres, which means we'll need to carefully decide when to start running between safe zones to avoid the big worms. Big worm. Oh, fine. Run. Okay, almost there. Okay, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna take my time. I don't want to die here. Okay. Run. Whew, okay. We're now in the heart of the enemy territory and get to fight much stronger demons, including the big gun ones, that I can't take on their dead bodies, of course. The Fracture Cannon works a bit differently from the Angel Hand Cannon. Here, we fire shards first, then press the other trigger to detonate them. It's more powerful, but overall pretty slow though. We wreak havoc into the enemy base, sending demon sparks flying everywhere, satisfying, but again, my biggest nemesis is gravity. No. Next step, the arena. Except, we enter by the wrong door and become a gladiator, here to entertain a crowd of demons. Wave after wave, I get rid of the horse they throw at me, until a horseman on a badass flame mount makes his way into the arena. After some fighting, I manage to get the guy off the horse and end it on foot. War brutally vanquishes this random dude and instantly get rammed by the horse. Turns out, we know the beast. It's none other than Ruin, War's on horse. We tame Ruin back to our side and get to fight the rest of the gladiators along on his back. Ruin allows us to survive in the desert and challenge the big worms. We can outrun them and fire at them with mercy, as well as admire cool finishers. Dead. This unlocks a new route, and the Fracture Cannon makes a comeback. Time to fulfill our mission. The reason we came is the Stygian's heart, and with the help of Ruin, we now have a chance to complete our task. After clearing the area of demons, the big worm breaks free and starts chasing us. By galloping near his face, we can first help him take off his helmet, then simply deal with him like the other worms. Except he spawns little ads that we need to take care of in between hits. Much better boss fight than what we dealt with in the Hollows, A badass blood rain floods the arena, and our job here is done. Back to Samael, he devours the heart and shows us the way towards Silitha, the spider, the last guardian before we are granted access to the tower. We can now use soul bridges with Ruin, convenient to reach Silitha's lair. We return to the Ashlands, but this time head west towards the bridge. As we get closer to our objective, monstrosities ambush War, and we skip directly to our cocoon prison. When we finally free ourselves a while later, we realize we're at the Iron Canopy. Silitha is here. Convenient. Again, we got big spiders that the Watcher advises to avoid for now, and as we break through dark angels and smaller arachnids, we look for a way towards the last guardian. This is probably my favorite dungeon. I might hate spiders, this was the best designed level to me. There are some meh moments, and the little spiders are annoying, but it's overall super fun.
You okay, buddy?
There's a really good balance of fighting and puzzles, so the rhythm works great. We find the entrance to Silitha's lair, and it looks like the lock requires getting rid of the other big spiders to open. Just a tad later, we find the abyssal chain, a grappling hook that's going to come in handy in our extermination job. With it, we can pull the spider's shell off, kill it, and break the lock's seal one by one. We can also do some sick swinging, of course. We get to it and take care of the disgusting pest as we backtrack to previous rooms. 4 big spiders out of the picture, there's only 1 seal left, a bigger one. This is a cool mini-boss. Wait for her to try to suck you in, feed her a cocoon instead, then punch her shell open with the gauntlet to hit her with a sword. Classic, and not difficult, but fun and effective. Now the door is unlocked and we head right towards Silitha. On the way, we meet this new type of enemy that's extremely slippery, but we can use the grappler to pull them closer so that they're easier to deal with. I find a secret room with a chest containing War's Glory, another weapon enhancement, and I finally understand how to use it. Better late than never, I guess. Parkour, fighting, we're there. Silitha is aware of our plan. She knows we're after her heart. She tries to warn War about Samael's real intentions. She actually says, it's not the tower that the Chosen protect. Our charge is to prevent Samael's return at any cost. War doesn't care at all, and the battle begins. She teleports, so again, the grappler comes in handy. We can just launch ourselves at her face to hit her. The camera movement here, combined with the flashes, got me dizzy. At some point, she summons some orbs and climb on the ceiling. Using said orbs helps us reach the boss again for a final beatdown. Unfortunately for this great dungeon, the final boss was so underwhelmingly easy, but at least we got the last heart and we can finally prepare for the tower. We confront Samael about what Silitha said, but he dismisses the importance of it, as he'll help us enter the tower as promised. The demon is back to full power, but true to his word, he opens up a portal to the Black Throne. Now, before we keep going, I need to say this. This godforsaken level almost made me quit the game even though I was almost done. It's insane how the devs got the green light for this. It's the worst. In the main hall, we meet with Azrael. He's surprised to see us, saying the 7th seal wasn't broken. The Angel of Death then asks for our help to cut off the tower from the Well of Souls, where the Destroyer draws his power from. Azrael is supposed to watch for the well, but had no choice but to open it when Straga, the strongest of the Destroyer's Chosen, forced him to. We agree to help if he takes us to Straga after. We now embark on a quest to free the angel through this forsaken place. War heads for the first lock. We can cross the first room by making walls move, then arrive outside. A quick battle later, we turn some valves and cross with the grappling hook. Get back in, fight red angels as well as demons and wraith, and we receive a new gadget. The Void Walker. Now, the Void Walker changes everything about this game. It lets us make portals in selected areas, get inside in the first, and exit by the other. War can also charge the portal to increase the exit speed. I have to say, I love Portal, but I wasn't very excited about this feature being in this game, especially because I know how tedious puzzles can be here. The first few are pretty simple, even though it literally bugged on the second one, but I know I'm going to need patience with this new mechanic. Anyway, I spare the details, let's keep moving. I arrive in the first golem room. There are 3 in total. With the use of the portals, we can reach its weak point and do it 3 times. Oh, and don't get hit. It hurts. The first golem down, a ray of light surges, and War figures out that we now need to guide this light to the main hall where Azrael is. We open up the portals here and there and bring the laser outside. Let me tell you, at this point, I'm already fed up with the portal stuff. It's slow and ineffective, frustrating and plain boring. Big fight. Then keep the laser going to the next room where we could move the walls. Again, guide the laser in a confusing maze. Patience, but not that hard. Back in the hall, we confront Azrael about what he said about the 7th seal being intact, saying Abaddon said the same thing when he saw War before Straga killed him. He doesn't answer, just tells me, redirect the beams. So let's go towards golem number 2. Elevator fight, followed by a room with moving platforms and flying enemies, and we arrive outside. It's here that we learn advanced portal mechanics. By summoning portals through other portals, it just keeps getting better. Big battle once we figure that out, before entering the next room where more battle awaits us. This room I hated. Gotta figure out a way to teleport some weight inside the cages with portals in order to climb up. But it's more difficult said than done, since you also need to take them out once you're mid-climb to make them go up again. Clear? It's long, and I'm already tired of having to do that a second time when we're going to have to redirect the beams. I reach the top, and I'm delighted to see some more portal puzzles, but we make it to the second golem room. We destroy it. Time to guide that laser back to the hole, I guess. But I'm back into the infamous weight room, having so much fun as you can see on my face. I don't know it yet, but this isn't even the worst room. We managed though. Beam is now outside. Keep going. Beam is now in the moving platform room. Keep going. Made it to the hall. Oh my god, only one left before this is finally over. Azrael has some good advice for us and we break the second seal. Only one left before this is finally over, but first, a word from the Angel of Death. Azrael answers our question with this flashback. He claims they didn't break the last seal to avoid involving the Horsemen. War believe this is the end, but the Watcher forces us to deal with the Destroyer first. Some more walls move, and we hurry back to redirect the beams. For the third time. This time, even the very first room gives me trouble. It's simple, as you can't see anything. And it might be frustration talking, but at this point I'm drained of the portal puzzles. Anyway, we make it through somehow, and more. It never ends. This part of the game is plain trash, and just writing the script gives me PTSD, so I'll just speedrun this part. Basically, pick up bombs and throwing them through moving portals, then get up the stairs to get a key, backtrack to the main room and climb up with the elevator, defeat the demons during the ascension and more demons at the top. Go outside and have fun with moving double portals, again, fight more demons on the other side and get in. With the help of the portals, what a surprise. Change the water level and connect the bridge. Take an elevator up and fight golem number 3. The last beam lights up, now to redirect it. Bring it downstairs to the previous room. No, not that elevator, the other one for some reason. Take the beam outside, back to the main building. Prepare portals on the floating pillar, slow down time, turn the pillar, and open the door by hitting the targets, but hurry! This is timed. Elevator down, and we're back to Azrael's room. Wait for the portal to circle around, and put the other one all the way down. Finally! Now free of his prison, Azrael opens up the way towards Straga. The Watcher wants to get rid of the Angel of Death right away, but we still need his help to escape the tower once Straga is dealt with. Straga appears, and from the get-go we can already guess that we'll have to use the portals once more, as we spot the weak point on his back during the cinematic. Anyway, this is a very classic boss fight. Avoid the hits, fire a portal on his mace and on the ground, and go through while he's getting ready to hit with his weapon in the air. Gently float to the convenient platform near the weak spot, stab it, and then slash his face. Do this 3 times and voila! He sometimes summons black angels, but mostly just watches, as he could easily attack us. With a cool portal trick, War catapults himself inside Straga's face, and Azrael helps us flee the Black Throne with the well. Azrael tells us about Abaddon coming to him after his death, because he's the one who took him to Eden. The Watcher says Eden is a myth, but we're here too now. Azrael saved heaven's greatest gift, the Tree of Knowledge, and concealed it away. By the way, we don't get much more lore about why the garden fell. Apparently the tree might show us how to stop the destroyer, as each who comes before the tree receives a different gift. We don't know what Abaddon got when he was taken here though. Azrael also mentions that the tree can also drive you mad or simply destroy you. One problem though, there's no way across, or is there? This place requires me to conquer the shadows in order to pass, and Azrael gives me the masks of shadows to see into the shadow realm. That's a lot of shadow. The dark part of War separates from his body, and we have to face ourselves. The fight is lame and super easy, but the tree now awaits. There's not much to do here, just a couple of chests laying around. Get up the stairs and we reach the tree.
Would you serve in heaven or rule in hell?
The storm is coming, Uriel. Soon, I will need you at my side.
I would follow you into hell, my lord.
How did they?
The best laid plans, or so the humans used to say.
You did this?
You plotted and schemed to call us to this world. I simply took advantage of your initiative.
No.
I will consider this an offering, Abaddon. And you, my loyal servant, join me and take up the mantle of the Destroyer.
No.
Once the throne learns what you've done, you'll be cast down, dragged in chains before the council. You're already damned. So I offer you this choice. Would you serve in heaven or rule in hell? Now, return to Azrael. Persuade him to help us. Then, together, we will change the face of the universe.
Abaddon must be punished. He bends the law to his will, laughs in the face of the council. What proof do we have? The seals are intact. No doubt the angel had help, but from whom? Until we know, we must wait. His act breeds open defiance. The council weakens. How long before we are overthrown? We cannot stop Abaddon, but there are others who might, if they had reason. We cannot send the foe. Without proof, there is no justice, only murder. They will see no reason in this assassination. We will send one, for whom vengeance is reason enough. The blade is scattered. I guard the seventh seal. This world is ours. Heaven is ours.
You had to know it was a one-way ticket.
The tree showed us everything we missed. Abaddon turned into the destroyer, and he guards the seventh seal. The charred council tricked War into this conflict. We still don't know who is the woman who knew about Abaddon's schemes and took advantage of it though. Anyway, War returns to Azrael, talks about what he saw, and also the sword powerful enough to destroy the seals. The angel lets us know of the Armageddon blade, but Abaddon destroyed it. The visions weren't the tree's only gift, as War comes back with hope to reforge the weapon, since Abaddon is about to storm the gates of heaven. We leave Eden, and for our final task, we go back to Earth's Shadow Realm to find the pieces of the broken Armageddon blade and bring them to Ulthane to reforge it. Okay, so there are 7 pieces, and the first one is just right there. We get the second shard in the desert close by, and as we advance toward the third one, we are challenged yet again by Uriel. She calls us to Nex Sacramentum, a death oath that cannot be broken, until one falls by the hand of the other. War accepts, and the fight begins. This is a cool boss fight, much better than the previous one at least, and we come out on top. As we win this battle, War decides to spare Uriel, to the Watcher's disbelief. We share the truth given by the tree with her, and she flies away. Back to the Blade quest, we find the 3rd shard at the Dry Road, another one at the Drawn Pass, the next one is at the Broken Stair, the 6th shard is at the Choking Grounds, and the last one at the Crossroads, the very beginning of the game. With all the shards, we travel to Envel's Ford and find the Black Hammer. Ulthane helps us with our task, and the Armageddon blade is finally reforged. Meanwhile, Abaddon the Destroyer is already up in heaven, wreaking havoc. We lose no time and get back to Azrael. War gets catapulted into heaven. Time to finish this.
She mistook me for someone else. She loved him, and I believe that he loved her. Long ago, before all this. Foolishly, he chose duty above all, and died for it. Will you do the same? Heaven hunts you. Hell hates you. All of creation cares not whether you live or die. Join me, War. Like a great sword, I will raise you up, and our enemies will shatter against us. The spoils of 1,000 victories will be yours. Or serve the justice of a corrupt council, and a creator who abandons his most faithful. I offer you this choice, horseman. Would you serve in heaven, or rule in hell?
I choose what once a coward did not.
Best answer ever, onto the final fight. The boss runs around and periodically dashes towards you, dealing massive damage if he hits you. Took me a while to figure out, but you have to get on your horse and strike him at the exact same time he attacks to trip him and stagger him. Now do this again, but the boss will sometimes fly up and come down rushing towards you. Just avoid getting hit. The hardest part is definitely getting the right timing to stagger him, because missing will cost you a health bar. Keep at it until you see the execute button and stab him to death. Just kidding. Phase 2. Demon form is almost useless here as you get back to normal after a single hit from Abaddon. We get a few QTE button mashing sequences. I honestly don't mind them, but they're pretty hard. He also throws boulders, but again, the real enemy here is the camera.
Oh wow, camera, nice. Convenient.
Keep comboing this dude and he eventually goes down. Tear off his wings and Uriel shows up as we finish the job and get our hands on the 7th seal. This ending gave me the chills.
You had to know it was a one-way ticket.
Council.
They knew you'd never play executioner because of your precious honor. They let you take the fall. They knew you'd butcher everyone involved to clear your name. And you did.
No!
Patience, whore. I've got some for you, too. I'll take that. If it were to get broken, you might get ideas. Like not going back in your little cage. It's tragic, really. You had freedom in the palm of your hand, and you lost it. What's so damn funny? Even you wouldn't laugh at your own funeral.
I'm laughing at yours.
Next sacramentum. The death oath is complete.
Hell God, bitch! What did you do? No! I'm going to pull your guts out through your halo! Keep getting up. I'll just kill you again. I was just following orders, like you. What are you going to do? Fight the council? Fight everyone? You'll never get away. You hear me? Never! Don't forget who holds the leash.
I haven't forgotten.
You knew. You knew what would happen here, what I would do. That's why you spared me.
No.
Then why?
Because I would not have the last of heaven's honor die with its champion.
All debts are repaid. The duty I uphold, it may call me to raise my sword against you. And if that day comes, I won't hesitate. You will be hunted. The White City for certain. The Council, and there will be others. You would wage this war alone?
No. Not alone.
That's it for Darksiders. I overall had a great time with this game, and it still holds up today. Except for the hollows, which were boring, and the Black Throne, which was trash. I would have loved that game back then for sure. I really enjoyed the sword fights, the level design and the art, the story and the lore, and it makes up for the average puzzle experience, honestly. Thanks for watching. I don't really know yet if I'm going to play the sequels, but let me know if I should, and I might make more videos on the series. Okay, bye!